The following is a Mid-Atlantic Sports special presentation.
On June the 14th, which is a Wednesday, it is a Wednesday night at the Motor Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. Ric Converse has been booked for the AWA show up there. He will be defending the Mid-Atlantic title in Minneapolis. He will be in Indianapolis. They are talking about bringing him into Minneapolis 2 days later, but I'm sure you already knew all this because you're the self-proclaimed Mid-Atlantic King.
Nobody wants to hear about Ric Converse. Nobody paid the money to hear the national anthem. Nobody paid the money to listen to you run your mouth. That's the matter is, each and every one of these people paid their money to see Marcellus, the Mid-Atlantic King. Now, sure, all you can see, I'm still in the fighting from the shoulder injury. So we'll not be wrestling tonight. Now, please don't leave. Don't leave. I realize you're not going to be able to see me wrestling, so please don't leave. We have a fantastic show lined up for you. I just want to come here and share a little bit of information. Last week, I told everyone to send their get well cards and emails to see that we have been Mid-Atlantic.com. And I just want to come here and share one of those messages that I received during the week.
You got another doctor's note there on sides?
What I have here is a handwritten letter from a dear woman. This is very touching, actually, and I think you all will agree with me. This letter comes from a woman named Misty Dawn. She writes, I was recently in danger of losing my 7-year-old son to an incurable disease. Little Aric has been so down and depressed that he hasn't even spoken one word to me or anyone else in the family for the past 10 months. Doctors haven't even been able to diagnose or provide any kind of medicine that's going to help little Aric. It wasn't until he received word that you were on the shelf with your shoulder injury that began to show signs of life. Your courage has inspired my son to get on the road to recovery. Now his spirits are high, he's speaking again, and thanks to you, Mr. King, I received the greatest Mother's Day gift I'll ever receive. I got my son back. Now, if that don't touch you in the heartstrings, there's something wrong with you, not me. Don't worry, Cross. I'll get you one. Anyway, I just want to encourage you all to keep sending your letters and your emails, and with your support and love, I'll be back in the ring in no time.
We're telling you, you better rest up. You better rest up. We're telling you, you better rest up.
Welcome to this exclusive CWF Mid-Atlantic DVD release. Kicking it off here from AC Fitness Gym in Greensboro, North Carolina, and a very intriguing matchup.
That's right, we've got singles action already underway in the ring. And there you see in the black and white, this is Davey Richards, his opponent tonight, Mr. Elite Jake Manning.
Yes, and not only is this a one-on-one contest, this is the very first match in the 3rd annual Johnny Weaver Cup tournament, a very prestigious tournament held during the summer each year here in the Mid-Atlantic.
That's right, Jake Manning making the break, getting away from Richards. Richards trying to get the fans in here behind him. I don't know much about Richards. I mean, where this guy come from?
Yeah, actually, Davey Richards, some of our viewers been buying this exclusive DVD release at CWFShopZone.com may be familiar with Davey Richards because he's actually done a lot of work with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla out of Los Angeles, California. He's out of Othello, Washington. Trained at the WCW Power Plant of all places, and of course their prized people there sure wasn't Bill Goldberg by any means, it was Alex Skipper. Davey Richards right now is actually one of the PWG Tag Team Champions along with Super Dragon. Those two have reigned as Tag Team Champions since last October 1st, since defeating the duo of El Generico and Human Tornado out in Los Angeles.
Looks like Davey Richards on top here of Mr. Elite. He's holding his back, took a kick to the back, and taking a verbal abuse here from our fans at ringside.
Yeah, I think these fans hate Jake Manning a little more than they like Davey Richards.
Yeah, they can go either way with that. I mean, the fans here in CWF Mid-Atlantic, sometimes they can sometimes surprise even us.
Sometimes they will have a little hard time warming up to a newcomer, especially one that works with such a non-southern style like Davey Richards, as a mixture of almost lucha and the Japanese shoot style.
Yeah, that's right. And Mr. Elite is taking the brunt of it. A knee right across the inside of the elbow. Got to be a very painful move.
Of course, any CWF Mid-Atlantic follower knows exactly who Jake Manning is. He actually didn't make his CWF Mid-Atlantic debut until this year, but he left an impact in a big way, because he was in that infamous tag match, that Burlington Street Fight, as he teamed with Michael McAllister against Jesse Ortega and the Gemini Kid, that saw Gemini Kid get lit on fire courtesy of Michael McAllister.
Yeah, and I never could figure out how Mr. Elite got involved with that, but I mean, that had to be McAllister's paycheck.
Yeah, Michael McAllister will pull people out that we have never seen from all parts of the world just to try and get revenge and fight his battles for him.
Yeah, but his battles make absolutely no sense. He wants to fight the guy that he paid at one point to train him how to wrestle, and what has happened is turned around on him. I mean, sure, we see him every now and then get something like maybe a TV title shot or something, but what has Michael McAllister done in the ring, I mean, that you can brag about as a wrestler?
Nothing, nada, zilch.
Okay, well then, he's still under double figures for moves, but right now, looks like we've got a virtual stalemate in the ring. Mr. Elite, Jake Manning shaking it off. Davey Richards is like he's going to take a break and go down to the floor here and have a little interaction with some of these great fans.
Trying to get some support out of some of the CWF regulars here and having a little bit of success at it. Of course, Davey Richards actually has the opportunity of a lifetime today, even though he probably isn't even aware of it, by being in the Johnny Weaver Cup. The last 2 years, 2004, we saw dangerously Corey Edsel win it. Of course, he went on to become the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion. Last year, we saw Jesse Ortega go on to win it, who of course had the most successful television title run in Mid-Atlantic history. And now, with the 2006 tournament underway, what in the world could be in store for the winner of the 3rd annual Johnny Weaver Cup?
That's right, 16 men enter, only one can win this thing. Johnny Weaver himself involved in hand-picking. This is an invitational tournament. You have to be invited in, as both of the men you're seeing in the ring right now were for the 2006 version, the 3rd annual Weaver Cup tournament.
Almost reminiscent of the old Crockett Cup, when you would have athletes from all across the world come and compete. That's exactly what Davey Richards has going on here today, as he hip tosses Jake Manning down and moving very, very fast, very impressive roll-up, crucifix-like maneuver, has the arms down, but just a 2 count.
Yeah, Mr. Elite able to come up, and I'll tell you what, he is down again, another beautiful textbook arm drag, and he is on his back. Davey Richards in control.
You know, a lot of times when we have athletes from other areas come into CWF Mid-Atlantic, they generally don't know what they're getting themselves into, because really, a lot of times the Mid-Atlantic is almost the overlooked region in North America when it comes to professional wrestling. Up north gets a ton of attention. There's a lot of magazine publications up north, and by virtue, those are the promotions that get a lot of the attention. The same goes for California. The population is so high. But here in the Mid-Atlantic, I would put our roster of athletes, legitimate, credible, professional wrestlers, up against any other promotion in North America.
That's true, and I believe we could come away with that one, and I don't think that is too much of a stretch. I mean, look who is coming into CWF Mid-Atlantic. Every time we turn around, names and new faces like Richards.
And Davey Richards is caught with the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker that drives him to the canvas.
And he is in a world of hurt. He's trying to make his way outside of the ring, get his breath, try to let this pain in the back stop, but he's not made it all the way out of the ring, but Mr. Elite looks to be in pain as well.
Of course, when you talk about outsiders coming into CWF Mid-Atlantic, the most notable of all names is unquestionably the former AWA World Heavyweight Champion, the King of Old School, Steve Corino. It was last September when he entered the Carolina Sports Arena, our TV taping facility in Burlington, for the very first time against Slick Diddy Ric Converse. He was able to survive that one with the AWA World title. He came back for a second time, and Converse pinned the shoulders of Corino to the canvas when the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title was on the line.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that was a day that was supposed to be destiny for Ric Converse. He'd waited, he'd trained for it, a world title match. Unfortunately, Corino dropped the title the Saturday night before.
Of course, the reigning AWA World Heavyweight Champion right now is Taka Amore, and hopefully one day in the very near future, CWF Mid-Atlantic can finalize the deal that will bring Amore and Converse together for the first time ever.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost due. We have seen Converse take apart a world champion. We've seen him actually pin a former world champion. I mean, it's doable, it's possible, but right now we've got the first match of the third annual Weaver Cup going on in the ring. Mr. Elite Jake Manning finally in control here.
Of course, this is the only Weaver Cup match at AC Fitness here tonight. However, throughout the entire Summer Action Series, wherever CWF Mid-Atlantic has a show, you can rest assured there will be a Weaver Cup tournament match, and all roads lead to August 26th when the Weaver Cup Finals will be held. The cup will be awarded to the victor, and a new name will be engraved in that trophy.
Yeah, now and forever, the third annual cup will be presented in the ring by none other than Mr. Johnny Weaver, the Mid-Atlantic legend himself. The namesake of this trophy, this man is very involved with the entire selection process. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't let us put his name on it.
Hey, from what I understand, Jesse Ortega doesn't even feel like there's going to be a new name engraved on that one, because you can just put an etc. after his, because he's fully attempting to repeat as Weaver Cup winner.
And I guess that's just as possible as any one of the 16 entered. But as we see right now, Manning cleaning house tosses Davey Richards out to the floor once again. This match is getting kind of ugly. Both men trying to get away from each other here instead of actually competing.
Referee Red Jones checking on Davey Richards outside of the ring and trying to give him a breather, backing Jake Manning up. But Jake Manning, though, taking it to the outside here at AC Fitness.
That's right, Jake Manning comes in on Richards. Richards meets him with a big chop, another open hand chop to the chest. He's got him reeling, but look at this, backs him into a concrete wall, but no reversal.
Reversal, and Davey Richards crashes into concrete bricks.
That's right, that cinder block is not going to give a bit. These two men are fighting on a rough sandpaper surface right now. This is an indoor track that they're grappling on.
Yeah, it's a very unusual setup here at AC Fitness. Like you said, it's an indoor track. We've got some 150, 200 fans around the ring and bleachers. It's Jake Manning about takes the head off and the hat off of one of our CWF regulars.
That's right, they're going to finally take this one back into the ring at the urging of Red Jones. Got to cover 1-2 count. Richards able to kick out.
Jake Manning trying to maintain control. I'm sure he's fighting as much for Michael McAllister in this one as he is for himself, hammering away on the skull of Davey Richards. Really intriguing matchup between the Mid-Atlantic and one of the Southern Wrestling stars from Los Angeles, California.
Beautiful movement. Who took the beating in that one?
Both men crumbled to the outside at AC Fitness Gym. Referee Red Jones laying on the count. We could have a double count out. And our first Weaver Cup match, which would of course eliminate both competitors from the tournament.
Yeah, to give somebody a bye into the second round, a big advantage for anyone in this tournament. Referees counting. Looks like Richards trying to make his way back in. A little shove from Manning. I think they're both in under the ropes now.
Both men in the ring. You see how much this battle is taken out of both individuals. Manning trying to position Davey Richards, who keeps firing back with those brutal forearms.
That's right, Richards. Oh, he's reversed into the ropes. Manning's waiting, but look at this.
Tilt-a-whirl head scissors takes Jake Manning down. Davey Richards now series of kicks to every body part that he possibly could connect with.
That's right. Looks like he's signaling that this one's over. He's got control. Boot to the side of the face.
Jake Manning dead on his feet, standing, Hurricane Rana. Jake Manning into the corner, into the camera. Davey Richards full steam ahead. What a shot to the jaw.
And this could be it. Manning in a world of hurt. Beautiful schoolboy. He's down. Referee's down. 1-2. Great. Wasn't able to get the 3 count on the man. This match continues.
Jake Manning very lucky to survive the small package administered by Davey Richards. Davey Richards though staying right on top of him, trying to hook for the suplex. Manning trying to fight it though.
That's right. And both these men still going at it. Look at this, up and over by Richards. He's got him in the lock around the waist, and he's going to roll him up once again. Referee's down, only a 2 count.
Manning shoves him off, and now Manning, no one home. Manning goes up and over the top rope.
Yeah, that's right. He's down to the concrete floor, the unforgiving concrete floor here at AC Fitness Center, trying to make his way back to the ring. This is what we call a television ring, and it's not the full height off the ropes as you would normally see, but look at this.
Very unorthodox, original, high-flying wrestling by Davey Richards, but Jake Manning not paying a lick of attention as Davey Richards catches him with a plunge over the top.
Yeah, and he's down both men on the floor. Richards enjoying a little bit of appreciation by the fans here at AC Fitness here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Referee making the count. These men need to continue this match back inside the ring.
It's actually amazing. Neither man has been counted out because they spent a ton of time outside the ring in this one. Davey Richards with the leg hooks. Just a 2.
You know, if they spend any more time out on the floor here, they're probably going to have to buy membership here at AC Fitness. But this one needs to stay inside the ring. This is a Weaver Cup first round match.
Trying to double underhook the arms. Manning blocking it though. Davey Richards going back to try and connect with another point of the body. And now winding up. No one home for the rolling elbow. Manning trying to hook him. Richards rolls through, double underhooks him yet again. Manning, leg sweep, has it down. Feet are on the ropes. Red Jones with the count. Jake Manning steals this one away from Davey Richards, courtesy of the second rope, and advances in the 3rd annual Johnny Weaver Cup tournament.
Yeah, it was plain as day, but the referee did not see it. Your winner, Mr. Elite Jake Manning.
First round Weaver Cup tournament match tonight.
This should be one heck of a contest right here, Randolph. Joey Silvia and Xsiris in a best out of 3. This is match 1 of Team Dynasty versus Team Converse.
That's right, Xsiris representing Team Converse against Joey Silvia, a young man that we have documented over and over. We don't like what we see in Joey Silvia now. Joey was always a fan favorite here in the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic area. There's been a change in Mr. Silvia as of late.
Joey Silvia has done the unthinkable over the past few months, and that's forsaken everything that we once loved about that kid. He stabbed Ric Converse in the back. Heck, he pretty much tossed away a lot of his own scientific ability just in, I guess, hopes of becoming a bigger star. He always thought he lived in the shadow of Ric Converse. Well, I have news for you, Joey Silvia. If you were as good as Ric Converse, you wouldn't be in his shadow.
That's true. I mean, that's what this business is all about, is getting the name out there and making a name for yourself. Joey Silvia has been around this area for several years. Everyone knows him. Everyone's familiar with him. But right now, if you was to stand them side by side and ask the fans which one they'd rather see, Slick Diddy would just blow him out of the water.
Oh, that's not much question about that nowadays. But the intriguing part of this match is Here lately, the new dynasty of Joey Silvia, Trent Wylde, and Simply Steve Green have proclaimed that they have a fourth member in their ranks, and Joey Silvia is locking up with them right now.
Yeah, but you got to wonder about anything those three say. They're snakes in the grass. They got their own agenda, obviously, and I think that both Silvia and Simply Steve Green are being led around like the blind leading the blind by the Gate City Center, Trent Wylde.
Fair enough. Trent Wylde will manipulate a person to their grave. However, I don't want to think Xsiris is with them. Maybe this contest will shed some light on that issue. But after Trent, Joe, and Steve all stab Ric Converse in the back, who's to say that a fourth man won't do the same? Who's to say that even if he's wrestling Joey Silvia right now, Xsiris still won't do the same down the road to Ric Converse?
Yeah, everyone was saying it during this match, the fourth member of the dynasty would be in the ring. And I was starting to think maybe Red Jones, but I believe he just proved to us that that is not the case in the corner there.
Joey Silvia telling Xsiris to lay down. And Xsiris, I sure hope he doesn't do that, because he could flat out rob us of what could be a great scientific battle if Joey Silvia decides to wrestle that way today.
That's right, Red Jones down this one, down on the canvas. Silvia able to reverse it. Xsiris, first man back up to his feet, and the fans will love it here.
Like we said, this is the first of three. We still have Trent Wylde versus Jesse Ortega and Ric Converse versus Steve Green in a street fight. The winning team in this best of three will get to choose Ric Converse's opponent for the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title next Saturday night at the Carolina Sports Arena.
Yeah, that you don't see every night. You don't see something like this where three wrestlers could actually take control of the Mid-Atlantic title just by winning a series.
That's right, and you know Joey Silvia, Trent Wylde, and Steve Green, if those three goons somehow by hook or crook win this series, you know they're going to point one of themselves to face Ric Converse. And don't get me wrong, Ric Converse isn't ducking anybody. Ric Converse will pick whoever he feels is the top contender for that championship.
Well, you know, should the new dynasty win this series, I could believe that we could see the three of them fighting amongst each other for that title shot.
Xsiris one step ahead of Joey Silvia. Joey driving the knee into the abdomen and full steam ahead, running Xsiris into the top turnbuckle.
And now Silvia got a few words for the fans at ringside, none of them pleasant. Drops a big fist into Xsiris' skull once again. Now here we go, across the ring again. Shooting
Xsiris into the opposite turnbuckle, and now Joey Silvia reverse and up and over, crashing down to the canvas, and Joey Silvia trying to get out of dodge here early.
That's right, Xsiris, a very dangerous young man. Look at this.
Springboard dropkick, Joey Silvia's head settles into the concrete here at AC Fitness Gym.
And I tell you what, Xsiris turned his back on his opponent before he went up on the second rope. That is an amazing move. Even more amazing that you see it actually connect like it did. Silvia trying to walk this one off.
We've seen Joey Silvia do some high-risk stuff in his time. Oh, and he ducked down because Xsiris was all about diving right on top of him.
That's right. He's looking around trying to figure out where Xsiris is, and he should have kept his eyes on his opponent because he's tasting the ring boots right about now.
Drop kick through the ropes, and Xsiris looking down. And how many times have we seen Xsiris put his body on the line? He's going to do it one more time. Swanton over the top rope.
That's right, down to the concrete. How much did that take out of Xsiris? You see Silvia writhing in pain over here, but Xsiris barely moving.
How many times over the years have we seen Xsiris incapacitate himself as much as he does his opposition with high-risk, insane maneuvers just like that? And you see Xsiris is back, almost twitching the pain that he must be in after crashing down on top of Joey Silvia.
Yeah, but you know, Xsiris, he's done that since day one. He puts himself at risk. I mean, we've seen it for so long now, we almost come to expect it. The fans may not realize this, but there is a great deal of punishment to the bodies of these men every night, just like that. The steel pole here is bolted to the floor of AC Fitness. There's no give to this at all.
Yeah, steel pole usually doesn't have any give, but he has even less here at AC Fitness, and Joey Silvia flies over the top rope, showcasing some of that incredible ability that kid has.
Yeah, and then showcasing a little of his wit back out here on the fans at AC Fitness. Now it looks like he's in control, taking his time, setting Xsiris up, and here we go.
Oh, look at this. What attitude oozing out of the body of Joey Silvia. Cocky as can be, making the cover.
Well, you know, all I can think after seeing that is Joey Silvia's mother and father are probably real proud of all the money they put in giving young Joy dance lessons as an adolescent.
Xsiris trying to catch his breath right now, rolling to the opposite side of the ring, trying to get away from Joey Silvia. I really think this is one of those times where Xsiris hurt himself as much as he did his opponent.
Xsiris back to his feet, but I mean, he had to have help getting there. Silvia slings him into the ropes, up and over, drops him flat on his back.
Man, he just hip-tossed Xsiris down across his own knee.
And Xsiris in a world of hurt here now. Joey Silvia going to work, twisting on the head and neck of Xsiris. Referee Red Jones checking to see if he wants to continue on this one. This one could end right now.
Now, 5 years ago, Joey Silvia was as much of a high-risk, high-flying athlete as Xsiris is now. And how have the tables turned? Joey Silvia tries not to nearly put his body on the line like Xsiris once did. And mid-ring collision, and my God, who in the world got the worst of that?
Both men rising on the canvas. I have never. Silvia landed face first on the canvas. And look, he's the first man up.
I think he was trying to catch Xsiris' high-cross body and almost turned into a blockbuster slam. But man, Joey Silvia's neck and head got jarred on that landing, but the torso of Xsiris just crumbled to the canvas.
That's right. I mean, he was twisted like a pretzel here. Silvia taking advantage, going to the eyes with the boots. And he's giving the Xsiris signal to the irate fans at ringside.
Well, Joey Silvia sure not acting like him and Xsiris are on the same page. But of course, that may be all part of the master plan. You just never know with the new dynasty.
That's right, Xsiris. He took that shot and he is down. Look at this, Silvia helping him back up, tying him up in the ropes. And what do we got? A boot right across the throat.
I think Joey Silvia is having to slow the pace down some himself after his head got about ripped apart on that blockbuster slam.
That's right, and Silvia standing tall over Xsiris, got control of this match, got Xsiris back up to his feet. He hooks him. What's this, suplex?
Going for the suplex, landing him very precariously across the top rope. Silvia runs the ropes, kicks right to the face of Xsiris, who once again crashes to the AC Fitness floor.
Yeah, how Doug Flutie, like we just saw a drop kick here in the ring in Greensboro. AC Fitness, Xsiris. I don't believe he's going to make a point on that one. He's probably still seeing stars, but you got to give it to the heart and the guts of Xsiris. He is trying to make his way back into the ring.
Clotheslining, dropping down, Joey Silvia across the top rope, and Xsiris now trying to get back to a vertical place, and believe it or not, looking to fly again over the top rope. Silvia brings the knees up and right across the back of Xsiris.
That had to be sheer reflex by Joey Silvia, but my goodness, look at the damage it did to Xsiris. I am surprised he's trying to get back to his feet, but he can't.
Going for a German suplex. Xsiris fighting for his life, trying to get out of it, hooks him all the way around. Northern Lights by Joey Silvia, going, pick him up. We've seen Joey do this before. Going for a second. Northern Lights knows it as well.
Oh my goodness, rolls over, going to go for number 3. He's signaling to the crowd, wait a minute, Xsiris fighting back on this one.
Xsiris trying to block it. Joey Silvia still in position. Xsiris going for the double hook. No, Joey gets it. Oh, DDT! DDT the head of Joey Silvia straight into the canvas.
That's right, Joey Silvia cannot be seeing anything. That was a wicked shot. The neck bent sideways. That could be permanent injury. Look at him, he's floundering around like a fish on the canvas.
Jarred the head, the neck, the spine. But of course, Joey in that whole melee landed right on top of Xsiris, who looks to be having serious problems in catching his breath at this point.
That's right, and Joey Silvia, he's holding the head, he's favoring his neck, but he's fighting his way back up to his vertical base here. He is using the ropes. The referee asking, does he want to continue, while Xsiris is still spread out on the canvas.
Well, you can almost see Joey's eyes glassed over there, like he didn't know where he was. But Xsiris, you hear him almost heaving in the ring, like he cannot get any oxygen in.
And you gotta wonder, I mean, we all know Xsiris is known for playing hurt. We don't know, I mean, is there something bothering this young man we don't know about? He simply doesn't make reports about injuries.
Small package though, was he playing possum? But Joey on top, almost happened. Was that a 3 count? Red Jones waving it off, saying it was just a 2.
My goodness, I mean, that was so close. Xsiris lucky, but he's got to get back up to his feet. He's got to take control here, but Silvia is one step ahead. Look, he's grabbing the rope. No!
Red Jones not paying a bit of attention to anything else that's going on, and Silvia blatantly had the ropes, and Xsiris still trying to find a way to kick out.
This is crazy. Red Jones did not see it. I saw it. The fans here at AC Fitness saw it. Joey Silvia had hold of the ropes on this.
Tumbleweed and no one home for Joey Silvia, who crashes into the canvas, and look at the face on Xsiris.
I tell you what, they don't look like partners to me.
Duking out in the middle of the ring, both men have certainly put their bodies on the line, and then some in this contest. Xsiris catches Silvia up, down.
Oh my goodness, this could be an Xsiris though. Look at this. What toll did it take on Xsiris? He's in a world of hurt. He can't get up. Silvia back to his feet first. A boot to the midsection. Xsiris clutching one of his arms.
Double underhook suplex by Xsiris. A maneuver he's hit so many times in the past, but he's always had a lot more life in his body than what he's got right now. He's got nothing left at all to follow up with it, pretty much collapsing onto the second rope, and Joey Silvia could be having enough time to recuperate.
But you got to see it. It's very obvious to me. I'm sure it's obvious to Silvia. Xsiris favoring that right arm, very ginger with it. I don't know when he hurt it, what exactly happened, but Xsiris goes to the top.
Could be. Oh! Xsiris fakes Silvia out. He's going for the swanton, and now look at this. Xsiris playing possum, laying on the canvas. Joey Silvia thinks that Xsiris missed the swanton.
You don't think Xsiris is actually doing what Silvia asked him to do earlier in the match, do you?
I certainly hope not. Joey Silvia talking smack to Xsiris, slapped him in the face there, and now Silvia thinks he has Xsiris right where he wants him, but in reality it's Xsiris who has Silvia right where he wants him.
That's right, here we have it. Xsiris kip-offs up, he doesn't know it. Silvia to the top rope, Xsiris up after him.
German suplex off the top. Joey Silvia crashes to the canvas. One big maneuver that could end the career of Joey Silvia and certainly win the match. Xsiris crawling over, makes the cover, the count by Richards, and Silvia somehow out in 2.
I do not know how that man was able to kick out. That is twice in this match. His full body weight has been driven onto his head and neck.
Silvia, Xsiris, what an effort by both individuals here today at AC Fitness. Silvia with Xsiris up and over, spinning your 90 him.
Oh my goodness, Xsiris sprawled out on the canvas. Joey Silvia got control. He reaches over, grabs the leg. Referee Red Jones down. Xsiris barely able to kick out onto the hand was coming down.
And this time it was Xsiris that miraculously kicked out. Both men have survived death in this contest, and both men living to fight another day. The match continues somehow, some way. The match is not even over yet.
That's right, and you see it. Joey Silvia up to the top rope, drops a leg drop, nobody home.
Boy, if Joey Silvia's spine had not been jarred enough in this one, that missed leg drop certainly did it. Could be going for the DUI. Xsiris is going to end it right here. Silvia up for the shoulders. Crucifix has him down. Here's the count. Silvia pins. Xsiris crucifixes him out of the DUI.
Oh my goodness, out of nowhere, Team Dynasty up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Your winner, Joey Silvia for the Dynasty.
Whose mama's so fat, she got up to dance at the club, and the band skipped. Whose mama's so old, she got a wig with Christmas lights in it. Anyway, let me tell you something, people. My name is Champagne, and his first name Cham, last name Payne, and I'm a former melatonin dancer from Las Vegas, Nevada, who traded my G-string for a wrestling ring. And pound for pound, I'm the baddest man to ever set foot into the square circle. You see, I've been around the world twice. I've seen everything with the wind. I've been everywhere with the electric chair. I've been to 2 state fairs, and I drove through hell in a gasoline truck in reverse with my hair on fire, wearing thumb underwear, and a fur coat with a big red sign hanging out the window that says Champagne is the freaking man. Hold on a minute. Hey, people, let me tell you something. No, I'm going to tell the truth here. I haven't been around one twice. I've been around the world 3 times. I've seen everybody but the devil, and I can do anything but have a baby. I've been from Moore County to Montiel, and from Sanford to Sally, because when I get on the ring, baby, I am the man from that. I've been to the North Pole, I've sailed the 7 seas, I've beat opponents in this wrestling ring with the 1, 2, 3. I can even kill a beast with my baby. I've beat the blind, the crippled, the lame, the crazy, from 8 to 80. Because it don't matter, baby. And one more thing, just because I'm beautiful, don't hate me.
Certainly a first-time matchup for the fans at AC Fitness, as the man that used to be called the Extreme Lucha Icon, Champagne, goes one-on-one with one half of the Guerreros, this being Chris Guerrero.
Yeah, you talking about what Champagne has been known by in the area. I mean, I've heard something about him being the Rock Shadow or something like that. I mean, there's all kinds of stories going on about Champagne.
Well, he certainly has been involved with the personal assistant role in the past, and here today you see Ashley Walker at ringside, who is now Champagne's personal assistant.
And I mean, is that like an honorarium or what? I don't understand the advantage of being a personal assistant to a well-known Mid-Atlantic star, you know, especially one with Omega roots.
Yeah, Champagne, for those, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Champagne back when he had the longer hair. Champagne pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth for a few years there when he was out in Hollywood, up in Canada, and traveling around the world, living the finer life, some would say. He came back to the Mid-Atlantic in a shocking reappearance just a few months ago, scored a very disputed victory over Xsiris, courtesy of Ashley Walker and that clipboard you just saw.
Yeah, but you know, you're talking about Champagne, a personal assistant of a big movie star, former big wrestling star. But you got to think, the years they were together, that wrestling star wasn't wrestling. He was making movies.
Chris Guerrero, roll up. Only a 2 count though. Of course, Chris Guerrero and his partner Rob Guerrero have really been impressive showing as of late. And I'm sorry, but I love their t-shirts. Just the simplicity of Guerrero, no relation, showing that they are not trying to use their name to gain any fame or fortune off the already existing name of Guerrero in the professional wrestling industry.
Yeah, I saw Chris Guerrero backstage before the night shirt, and he actually had a shirt on that says, Guerrero, no, not that one.
Ashley Walker a little bit disheveled by the fans at ringside, and Champagne a little bit disheveled by the athletic acumen of Chris Guerrero, and now taking the poster down off the wall and complaining to Charles Richardson as to why his picture is not on the poster.
Well, when the posters were printed, did we even know Champagne was coming back?
You gotta love the egos of some individuals.
That's right. I mean, I still got to question this whole thing of a personal assistant. I mean, he's not a manager. He's not a valet, bless his heart. He's a personal assistant. What does a personal assistant do in the independent wrestling circuit?
Yeah, Champagne is an individual. It's not like Ashley Walker is out there trying to manage a zillion guys. It's just one guy. Champagne is enough of a man that he doesn't need a personal assistant. Obviously, that's just a ruse to try and put over on some people so he can have a little extra assistance at ringside when he needs it.
Yeah, but all I see is a bootlicker at ringside.
Chris Guerrero trying to fight his way out of this side headlock. Champagne, years and years experience on this youngster, but man, what a dream matchup this could be for Chris Guerrero, getting an athlete of this stature and caliber so early in his career. And if Chris Guerrero can somehow pull the upset here, where in the world does Chris Guerrero go from here? You're talking TV title matchup.
Yeah, that's right. Chris Guerrero so far playing smart, staying out of the grasp of Champagne. Now here we go, this personal assistant just got involved.
Yeah, he personally assisted Champagne, who just ran straight through Chris Guerrero with the clothesline.
Yeah, a cheap shot, an assist from the outside, Champagne taking total advantage of it. I'm not sure if the Champagne I remember from years ago would have had someone creating diversions away from himself. I mean, I thought his whole thing was he was a human diversion.
Hey, I'll never forget that final Omega show where him as Omega champion wrestled Steve Corino, who held an Extreme Championship title for title, and Champagne went flying off that top rope, crashing through that table, and with that crash through the table spelled the demise of a once proud organization known as Omega.
That's right, that was the end of it. But you know, the end is, and some say the end is not the end is yet just another beginning. And right now we've got another beginning. Champagne back in the Mid-Atlantic rings. Big clothesline, Chris Guerrero down.
Of course, I think when Champagne came back, he thought he was just going to steamroll through the Mid-Atlantic like he used to. And then he met Xsiris, a little bit more than what Champagne expected on his way back in.
That's right, Champagne may not have realized how the level of competition has grown up in the couple 3 years that he's been away from the indie rings, especially here in CWF Mid-Atlantic. I mean, we're talking quality every night, every bout.
And Champagne has now aligned himself for an AWA World Light Heavyweight title match against none other than champion Crazy K, Kirby Mack, coming to the CSA very, very soon.
Yeah, and I have already heard Champagne complaining about not being invited to that tournament, but hey, he was in Hollywood back in August of 2005.
That's exactly right, as the Oklahoma Roll cannot hold the shoulders of Chris Guerrero down, hammering away back on the back. Now Champagne looking to add some more punishment to the body of Chris Guerrero.
See Ashley Walker outside the ring again, trying to get the referee's attention. I mean, he's just like a gnat. He's outside annoying everybody. I mean, he's just in the way. I've got the question. I want to know why Commissioner Cross allows this man to come out to the ring if he does not have a manager's license. How much clout can Champagne bring to our ring?
Champagne may be undefeated since his return, but it is only because of that goon at ringside.
Well, that is true. We've seen him become involved, getting the referee's attention at just the right opportunities. And I mean, he's basically a cheerleader for Champagne during most of the matches we see.
Champagne continuing to wear down Chris Guerrero with this rear chin lock as Ashley Walker is spending plenty of time on a cell phone talking to God knows who.
He was talking to Domino's Pizza, one of the carry-out services, I believe.
Champagne kick to the midsection, drops Chris Guerrero as Champagne thinks he has this one fully in the palm of his hand.
Well, Chris Guerrero, I mean, he's fighting back, but he's not got a lot going for him right now. Champagne able to hit him over and over again. This young man keeps getting up and keeps trying to battle back, but Champagne seems to have an answer for everything he wants to do.
Chris Guerrero taking one heck of a beating, just shot after shot after shot. Champagne stands tall, middle of the ring.
That's right, Champagne got control of this situation. Chris Guerrero laying in the ring ropes, barely able to stay on his feet. Champagne trying to take advantage, reversal by Guerrero. Look at this, sleeper hold, Chris Guerrero.
Sleeper hold by Chris Guerrero, but Champagne fighting his way out of it, shoots Guerrero off the ropes and applies a sleeper hold of his own.
That's right, here we have it again. Once again, Champagne got the sleeper hold locked up on Chris Guerrero. Guerrero trying to fight his way out, shoots him off into the ropes, and now Guerrero with another sleeper hold of his own.
It's the third sleeper hold in about 30-second span. Back suplex.
And that'll take a sleeper hold out of you right there. Chris Guerrero landed on the back of his skull. He is in pain. Champagne rolls him over. No pun intended. Referee down. Only a 2 count.
Champagne weathering the storm. The little flurries of Chris Guerrero here and there, not enough to get the job done. Now Champagne just measuring, just standing there measuring and blistering shot after shot to Chris.
Chris Guerrero totally not expecting that. I mean, he is a tag team wrestler by trade, but right now he's firing back on Champagne. Got Champagne on Rubber Street.
Chris Guerrero firing Champagne off, catches him, elbow right underneath the jaw.
That's right, Chris Guerrero trying to finally get some moves in, take control of this match. Champagne tries to reverse it. Guerrero off the ropes.
Oh, Chris Guerrero stops short, hooks him, snap suplex, taking him back over. We've seen some Guerreros do this in the past, but no. Reversal around, and now back suplex on Champagne.
Champagne flat on his back, crumpled on the canvas again. Chris Guerrero getting fired up, still holding the head, but look at this. Guerrero's gonna go up top.
Chris Guerrero and his brother are so adept at high-flying wrestling. And that's exactly where Chris is right now. Leg drop off the top onto Champagne. Here's the cover. Charles with the count. And Ashley Walker is up not only on the ring apron, but he's up on the top rope. And Chris Guerrero has Ashley Walker to the canvas.
Holy cow, if not for Ashley Walker, Chris Guerrero would be celebrating a very high visibility victory against Champagne. But look, he's got the clipboard.
For the millionth time, I swear. Clipboard right between the eyes. Has the leg hook. Yeah, Charles, let's count it now.
That's right, Champagne your winner by pinfall. And you all seen how that was able to happen. Ashley Walker on the top rope, got Guerrero's eyes, and everything turns around for Champagne.
Why don't you just go outside the ring and raise Ashley Walker's hand as well, Charles?
Ric Converse. It's also starting to run out for the likes of Rob McBride as well. And oh yeah, let's not forget about the Gemini Kid and his protege as well, Jesse Ortega. Oh, as the second hand continues to move forward, the time is drawing closer to the arrival of Solomon Spades. Time is also drawing closer to the arrival of the Black Watch movement. Resist us and prepare to get played by the ace of spades.
1, 2, he's coming for you. 3, 4, he's gonna settle the score. 5, 6, until your heart don't tick. 7, 8, he controls your fate. 9, 10, Solomon's game begins. But we're not gonna tell you when.
It's time for match 2 in Team Dynasty versus Team Converse. It's Jesse Ortega and Trent Wylde.
That's right. Ortega representing Converse, Wylde the Dynasty, and here it is, it's on.
Ortega going for the PhD early. Trent Wylde going for inverted DDT. Ortega, Fujiwara on Trent Wylde. He's scurrying to the ropes in the opening seconds of this contest.
That's right, and Trent Wylde has to be looking for the Fujiwara. I mean, that is Ortega's bread and butter the last few months. I'm not going to say he relies on it completely, but that's his favorite way of getting an opponent out.
Certainly as he loves the submission style of wrestling, but we also saw him going for the PhD, his new Phoenix head driver that the Gemini Kid trained him on in the early going as well.
That's right, Trent Wylde taking his time, making his way around the inside of the perimeter of the ropes, telling the crowd to shut up like that's going to help things in here.
Hey, and Jesse Ortega has got to win this contest for Team Converse. Joey Silvia defeated Xsiris in an incredible contest earlier tonight. It's up for Jesse Ortega to actually pull this one out so Team Converse can continue in this series.
So if Ortega is defeated by Wylde, will we not see the Converse match?
That's exactly right. Converse and Steve Green will not have to wrestle if the Dynasty can go up 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, well, the Dynasty in that case would already have control of the next challenger for the Mid-Atlantic title. I tell you what, the Dynasty got a lot on the line, but Jesse Ortega got a lot on the line as well. He's fighting back on Trent Wylde into the road.
And Trent's been a constant backpedal here in the early going as Jesse Ortega is just lighting him up every chance he gets.
Well, I cannot figure if I was a member of Dynasty which of the three of Team Converse I would want to face, but I am not sure if Ortega would be the first one you would choose.
Certainly not. As Ortega ran straight into the boot of Trent Wylde, who's 2 underneath the ropes for referee Charles Richardson to actually make the count there.
That's right, they're both rolling out. Ortega seems to be a little bit stunned here. Wylde, the first one back up to his feet, trying to get control. Ortega fighting his way out.
Going for it again. Could have a Phoenix head driver. Drives Trent Wylde's head right to the canvas and the leg hook. And just like that, Jesse Ortega flat out defeats Trent Wylde here at AC Fitness.
Trent Wylde mohawk first into the canvas. Ortega evens it up. It is now 1-1.
Should be chaotic from the opening bell. 4 corners match for the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles, and the two behemoths starting it off first. Dangerous E. Corey Edsel and the Mad Trucker Gary Stevens.
That's right. We've got a situation in the ring tonight where the tag titles could change hands without the champions even being in the ring.
Of course, the champions are Mitch Connor and Gary Stevens. The challengers, one corner, Corey Edsel and Asaad Khalif, of course, have been sent here by Cornelius J. Lumpkin III to capture the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles. The other two duos, Tank Lawson and the Boogie Woogie Man, Rob McBride, and the other team, the former champions, the Southside Players, J Money and Will Be Smooth, who just last week lost their valet, Kiamoka, to a Mad Trucker, Gary Stevens, and Mitch Connor, and she's very inconspicuous by her absence here tonight.
Yeah, we've looked all over AC Fitness this evening before the show, and since the show has actually come on, and there is no Kiamoka to be seen anywhere from as far as anyone can tell.
Gary Stevens backpedaling. Of course, it's not the first time these two monsters have locked horns, but it's certainly been a long time since the last time, because Corey Edsel, it was just a few weeks ago, made a shocking return in Greensboro, North Carolina, to CWF Mid-Atlantic rings after previously pretty much having his career ended courtesy of Brass Monkey in a stretcher match last September 10th in Wentworth.
That's right, your legal man now, Asaad Khalif, the Iranian assassin, whatever it is. We've got here another one of the guys brought in by Lumpkin Management Group. I tell you what, he just keeps unveiling new weapons every time. Now wait a minute, Will Be Smooth, he makes a blind tag. He's the legal man now.
Yeah, we're probably going to have a fit trying to keep track of who's legal, who's illegal, and what the heck is going on in this one. All we need to know is the titles are on the line, and right now Will Be Smooth trying to get a measure revenge on Gary Stevens, who tags the Mid-Atlantic Television Champion, the Boogie Woogie Man, Rob McBride.
This is exactly what we discussed earlier. This is a situation where if Boogie was to tag Will Be Smooth or vice versa, If he was to lay him down, get the 3 count, the titles could change hands with neither of the champions involved in the ring at the time.
That's like the problem with these 4 corners matches. You have to be in it to win it, and it doesn't do Mitch Connor or Garry Stevens any good to be standing on the ring apron because they cannot win. They can lose. They can do nothing but lose the tag team titles by standing by and watching.
You would think they would want to stay, one half of that team involved in this match the whole way because they're definitely not getting along on the ring apron out here.
But Rob McBride and Will Be Smooth, both 2 very popular fan favorites. Rob McBride along with Tank Lawson is Will Be Smooth just flat out slapped the taste out of Mitch Connor.
Mitch Connor makes his way into Legal Man, squaring off against the Boogie Woogie Man, oh my goodness, the AWA Mid-Atlantic TV champion. He's just laughing. The eye poke's not doing any effect on here. Standing tall as a tree for a chop. Look at this, Connor on his heels.
Yeah, Mitch Connor wants some retribution for losing the Mid-Atlantic television title back at New Year's Knockout to Rob McBride.
That's right, but he's got to watch out another unorthodox move coming here. I'm not going to attempt to say what I'm seeing in the ring at this point.
It's a flex. You just add the adjective.
That's right, and that is definitely going to leave a couple of marks.
Mitch Connor looking for some comfort in the corner of a mad trucker, Garry Stevens, who comes in only to meet a chop of Rob McBride.
Rob McBride known for lighting him up all across the Mid-Atlantic, but once again, don't sell the trucker short. He's known for these chops as well. These 2 large super heavyweights going at it. McBride tags in Tank Lawson.
Tank Lawson kicking the arm of the mad trucker, Garry Stevens, and going to town on it.
That's right, Tank Lawson got the advantage now, twisting the wrist, cranking away on the shoulder of the trucker, driving the elbow into the back of the head. Tank Lawson showing why he's one of the most powerful individuals in CWF Mid-Atlantic.
It was actually just a month or so back that Rob McBride and Tank Lawson came very, very close to tag team gold themselves. They had nearly a 20-minute battle with the mad trucker, Garry Stevens and Mitch Connor, and if not for once again the interference of Cornelius J. Lumpkin III, which has cost Tank Lawson so many bouts in recent times, Rob McBride and Tank Lawson would already be tag team champions.
That's right, and Garry, the mad trucker Stevens, finds himself in the wrong corner, backed into the player's corner by Tank Lawson. Referee Red Jones keeping the players in the corner as Rob McBride looks on from outside as Tank Lawson takes a boot.
And now Will Be Smooth and Corey Edsel in the ring exchanging chops, and boy, both of those athletes can beat the tar out of one another with the chops all day long.
That's right, Will Smooth down on the canvas. Edsel in control here, lifts the man back up, chops him right back down to the canvas once again.
Dangerous C. Corey Edsel certainly knows what championship gold is all about. A former multiple-time Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion recently returning to the ring and wants nothing more than to taste that gold once again, even if it is in the tag team ranks alongside Asaad Khalif.
That's right, look what he does. He tags in the mad trucker Garry Stevens, who's now the legal man, beating away on Will Be Smooth in his own corner. And now, of course, Connor's going to take advantage of the situation and try to add a little damage as well.
Yeah, but Will Be Smooth is a heck of a fighter, and he is known for unloading. That's exactly what he's doing on the tag team champs right now.
That's right, tag team champs got it in reverse as the mad trucker falls like a giant redwood in the forest. Yeah, I don't know if it made a sound or not, but J Money's now the legal man going straight to the face of the mad trucker.
How much intensity we see out of J Money last week as he delivers another big clothesline to Garry Stevens, making the cover. Mitch Connor there for the save.
Yeah, Mitch Connor making a timely save. That could have been it right there. They could have dropped those tag titles. Corey Edsel in big
power slam. My God, J Money was airborne. Here's the count and multiple saves made from every direction.
That's right. It's going to be dangerous for anybody to try to make a cover here in this match. Look at this. Edsel goes over, tags in Tank Lawson, tells him to have a shot at J Money.
Now, Tank Lawson and J Money are good friends, but Tank Lawson certainly could care less about friendship when it comes to winning tag team gold.
That's right, J Money. He's struggling right now. Tank Lawson straight to the face. He's going to back him into the ropes and release. Look at this. I think we almost had a blind tag here, but J Money powered up by Tank Lawson and driven into the canvas.
What a maneuver by Tank Lawson, but maybe making a mistake here, not making the cover. Corey Edsel barrels right through Tank Lawson.
That's right, Corey Edsel putting the boots to Lawson. McBride trying to join into the fray. We've got 3 men battling in one corner over here. Referee's got to get control. Wait a minute. Khalif has entered the fray. We've got all 4 men of these 2 tag teams battling in one corner here. This thing is breaking down.
Mitch Connor unloading on the skull of J Money.
I tell you what, this is getting down, but we've got people everywhere. Khalif and McBride out on the floor. Looks like Connor's going to finally crawl back into the ring. Tank Lawson, Corey Edsel out on the track. This is getting bizarre.
The house lights have been turned on AC Fitness so all the fans can see what the heck is going on all over AC Fitness right now. J-Money, small package on Mitch Connor, has him down. Super kick by Wylde Smooth. Rob McBride and Khalif on the outside of the ring. The players have Mitch Connor down. The referee, Red Jones, way out of position on that one.
Red Jones, I wonder if he knows who the legal man is, because I certainly don't know. We see Will Smooth, J-Money both beating away on the tag team champion, a very handsome gentleman, Mitch Connor.
I have no idea what's going on, other than the fact that Mitch Connor's about to lose the tag team title. What?
Little Billy.
Garry Stevens now money with that little Billy, and we have a 3 count, but Wylde Smooth had the cover on Mitch Connor as well.
What in the world is going on here? Little Billy involved once again. Trucker trying to get his tag team partner up here.
Referee Red Jones is making a decision of a lifetime right now, and he's awarding the bout to Garry Stevens and Mitch Connor.
You sure it's not Garry Stevens and Little Billy?
Apparently, referee Red Jones somehow, I don't know how he declared it, but somehow came to the conclusion that Garry Stevens was the legal man.
I don't know how he was able to keep up without a scorecard. Garry Stevens, he's happy here at ringside. I mean, this is just his element. He gets a chance when all this bedlam breaks out to once again involve Little Billy in a title match.
And as Garry Stevens and Mitch Connor leave AC Fitness, not only are they still champions, but where is Kiyomoka? The bell has been rung by senior official Charles Richardson, and we're officially underway in match 3 of a 3-match series as Team Converse takes on Team Dynasty.
That's right. Once again, the house lights here at Greensboro's AC Fitness on West Market Street are on because this is a street fight. This thing can go anywhere.
It's a Falls Count Anywhere street fight, and boy, how bad does the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion Slick Diddy Ric Converse want this one?
That's right, they're going straight to the face. Simply Steve Green fighting back, they're exchanging blows, and you gotta wonder, Slick Diddy has waited for this moment. I mean, there was a chance this match wouldn't take place, now he's gonna take advantage of the situation.
Ric Converse wastes no time shooting Steve Green into the corner, catches him, big monkey flip out of it.
That's right, and you can see Converse knows that he holds in his hand his own destiny as who the next challenger for the AWA Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title will be. If he can win this title, if he can win this tournament, this third match, best of 3, he will have control of his own challenger.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that if they have the opportunity, they're going to take someone like Jeremy Ryan as their challenger, not Ric Converse. He's going to take whoever he feels is the best, most qualified contender. Big slam by Steve Green.
Steve Green showing a little bit of power there, but he's also showing a little bit of pain in the back. As he exerted himself, hefted the champion up, drops him down hard. Now he's going to lip a little to the fans here at AC Fitness.
Ric Converse shoves him off, coming in though, and Converse now back in control with the side headlock on Steve Green.
Steve Green needs to regroup here. Converse trying to roll around. We're seeing a little chain wrestling here. Take advantage. Hammerlock on Green. Green's trying to come out of that. Reverses. Hammerlock on Slick Diddy. Slick Diddy going to try to come out of it with the elbow to the head.
You know, Converse is a tremendous technician, but you better enjoy your technical wrestling while you can in this one, because it's going to be a fight as Converse rains the right hands down onto the skull of Steve Green.
In case you've not been with us for the past few weeks, what you're seeing in the ring right now is a result of something personal. These guys don't like each other, and it's all out on the table.
Yeah, it was just a few weeks back. If anyone watches our internet show on highspots.tv, you saw a confrontation, a verbal confrontation. Oh, look at this! What an airborne hurricane run by Steve Green!
Steve Green driven the champion's head into the canvas. Converse holding the head and neck. Look at this. Green wants to take a little more to the fans out here, giving Converse a chance to try to struggle back to his feet.
As I was referring to as a verbal confrontation between the New Dynasty and Ric Converse that we actually had to pretty much put on the bars and tone and bleep a few words out of before going off the air with it, but there's certainly been some very personal shots thrown towards both parties of the Dynasty and Ric Converse here recently.
Yeah, but what were they chanting about a grandma during that match earlier?
Steve Green chopping Ric Converse on the outside here as they take it to the floor at AC Fitness Gym.
That's right, this one's breaking down all the marbles on the line. I mean, we can only say it so many times, but the fate of the heavyweight championship's next challenger lays in the hands of these two men. Simply Steve Green trying to win control of the next challenger for the New Dynasty. Converse trying to his best to have the control for that for his very own.
And you know, if somehow the Dynasty can pull this series out, you know they're going to select either Steve Green or Joey Silvia. I would say Trent Wylde, but his showing earlier against Jesse Ortega was slightly less than impressive.
Well, I mean, it didn't go very long either, if you want to mention that, but right now, Steve Green is taking it to Converse. Converse trying to absorb all these blows, dish out a few of his own. Steve Green showing the amazing speed, but Converse has him scouted.
Yeah, Steve Green going to the well once too often, going for another one of those hurricane runners. Converse caught him and just flat out slammed him down with the power bomb, now snapping him over, and Slick Diddy measuring. Simply Steve Green, reverse neck snap.
That's right, Steve Green in a world of hurt. Converse rolls over, goes for the pinfall. Referee's down. Steve Green able to kick out on the 2 count. Converse going down, help him back up to his feet once again.
Blistering chop to the chops as Steve Green is dead on his feet, and Converse full steam ahead sends Steve Green to the concrete floor at AC Fitness.
That's right, falls count anywhere. This one's going out to the floor. Looks like Converse is going to follow. Steve Green struggling back up to his feet as Slick Diddy advances on him.
There's a whole lot of payback in store for Steve Green if Ric Converse can continue the momentum, because he's got a lot of built frustration over the past few months of being blindsided and sneak attacked by these 3 individuals that he once considered to be the best of his friends.
Yeah, that's right. Look at that, the concrete wall, those unforgiving cinder blocks. Once again, the friend of Slick Diddy, Ric Converse. Now we've got action on the table where there's actually taking money earlier in the evening.
Ric Converse kicking Steve Green just inches away from our crowd here at AC Fitness, and looks like he's trying to position Steve Green up on that table, surrounded by the fans here.
That's right, and Steve Green, he's at the mercy of Slick Diddy. Slick Diddy's got him up on the table. Looks like he's going to try to set him up for a power driver.
Are you
or something.
kidding me? Going for a power driver, what would it basically be a no disqualification match? Steve Green, crescent kick right to the larynx of Ric Converse.
Converse is down. He's rolling around that sandpaper grit track area out here. Steve Green still favoring the back, but Converse is not in a good position. Green down for the cover. Referee's down. 2 counts. Slick Diddy able to count out.
Just a 2 count as Ric Converse had to weather the storm of that brutal kick as Steve Green fell off the table now. And now using that table one more time as fans, cameramen, photographers, everyone getting out of the way of these 2 individuals.
That's right. Looks like we're going in behind the back of one set of the bleachers. We've got a climbing wall back here, but no, we're going straight back to the cinder block. Slick Diddy getting a good taste of the white cinder block wall here at AC Fitness in Greensboro.
Well, Charles Richardson's going to have his hands full here. He might as well give up on asking someone else to choke in this one because he has no control. There's no 5 count. Steve Green can choke for as long as he wants to choke.
That's right. That's what it's all about right here. Falls County, anywhere, street fight, anything goes. And basically, I'm afraid we may just see anything. Now, it looks like Steve Green has got a destination heading over to the concession stand.
Slamming Ric Converse's head in that concession stand, and now has some kind of steel cooking plate right across the back of the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion.
And I tell you what, Converse is down, Green is back, another shot across the back with whatever that is, a cookie sheet or whatever it was, loud. It had to sting something fiercely. Converse still struggling to his feet.
The one thing about Ric Converse is no matter what kind of style you want to wrestle, whether you want to fight or you want to go technical, Ric Converse is so incredibly adept at every style. That's why you can never discount him in any fight he's in.
That's right. He went head first into the CWF Mid-Atlantic banner, but we all know behind that, more cinder block. Converse is taking a beating straight to his own face here.
Converse struggling to get back up. He's really been out of it ever since Steve Green hit that crescent kick off the table, and now Steve Green blistering Converse on the outside of the ring.
Converse needs to get control of this thing, get his breath. Steve Green once again right back into a door, into some sort of maintenance room here. I mean, Slick Diddy's down on the concrete here.
Storage facility with mop buckets and everything else here at AC Fitness.
Referee's looking in. Steve Green advances in. Now we've got looks like a steel trash can going to be involved here, and Green's going to pick it up and bring it outside with a little bit of cleaning tools here. But wait a minute, straight back to the face of Converse, who's trying to get back to his feet.
Well, we may be lucky if this one ever makes it back to the ring. Steve Green, some kind of electrical cord there around the throat of Ric Converse.
This is getting ugly. Converse getting choked out with an electrical cable. I don't know what kind of device it come from, some sort of floor buffer or something, I'm sure. But Converse needs to get away from this thing. He is getting the life choked out of him.
Steve Green just mocking Ric Converse. You saw him yelling in his ear there.
That's right. Steve Green taking advantage of the situation. Claims this is what he's wanted all along, and so far had a pretty good showing against the Mid-Atlantic champion.
Look at underneath the ring. Steve Green just pulled a kendo stick out from underneath the ring.
That's right. Looks like he knows how to use it. We all know about the whole American Steel Ninja thing, but you know, we thought he had forsaken that whole persona, and now look at this.
Straight across the back of Ric Converse, you can see the pain etched across the face as that kendo stick blistered the back of the champ.
And that's right, Steve Green goes down once again, referee down for a count, only able to get a 2 count. Converse gamely kicks out of that one, but he's taking a beating here at the hands of Green.
Yeah, it's been a long time since seeing Ric Converse in a fight like this. And of course, anytime you think of a fight and Ric Converse, you have to think of Battle Cage 6, the Bloody War, the Steel Cage War with a mad trucker Garry Stevens that saw Ric Converse reclaim the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title for a 3rd time.
And I see Steve Green outside the ring, and I don't think what he's doing is housekeeping. He's got the lid to the garbage can right into the back of Slick Diddy. Man, caught that elbow. He's flexing the arm. That could have caused a lot of damage. Yes, back to the elbow.
But Ric Converse is not going to be able to absorb a whole lot more of this punishment. And now Steve Green, looked like he was wanting to go work on the leg there after catching Converse with that trash can leg. But Converse now was shot a half arc to the rib and a full-blown shot straight across the back of Steve Green with that trash can leg.
Converse trying to turn this one around in his favor. He's got Green down, going to try to pick him back up and back out onto the concrete floor, onto that sandpaper surface. Steve Green is tumbling. Converse is irate.
Boy, did you see the look in the champ's eyes? He has obviously had about all he can take and dusting off Steve Green before plastering him with that broom handle.
I believe the broom handle is just as painful as any kendo stick. You see Converse nails him once again right across the short ribs.
I think he just broke the broomstick across the side of Steve Green.
That's right, and Steve Green needing to gamely fight back here. Converse taking advantage of the situation. This thing has finally come around to his favor, his tempo, and he is unleashing some of his past frustrations on his former friend.
And now we're into some It looks like an office here at AC Fitness. I don't know if they have pro wrestlers insurance here at AC Fitness or not, but they may want to check into that.
That's right, and Steve Green looks like he's gonna be drugged back out of the office. Converse gonna unload. Wait a minute, powder to the face.
Out of nowhere, a blast of powder blinds the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion who's swinging wildly. Can't see a thing, and Steve Green may just completely turn the tide for the rest of this contest.
Converse is clueless where he's at in AC Fitness. He has no idea where simply Steve Green is. Steve Green just simply taking his time, looking for an opening to put this man out and end this match.
Converse is trying to hope to hit something, anything. Ric Converse gets smacked by that boxing bag right at the side, and Steve Green's using it more as a mocking device than he is a weapon.
That's right, the heavy bag takes the champion off his feet. Steve Green still knows he's got a momentary advantage. Head first into the bag, Converse down on the concrete again.
Steve Green, boy, that powder totally did him a world of good, and now on top of the champion, choking him one more time, and once again, Charles Richardson helpless to do anything about it.
That's right, this battle spilled out of the ring moments ago. We're now behind one of the sets of bleachers here at Greensboro, North Carolina's AC Fitness, and this is Falls Count Anywhere main event action with the fate of the next challenger for the CWF AWA Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title on the line.
Steve Green may want to watch where he goes, because some of our CWF fans were coming after him there for a second.
Steve Green going to take this one back towards the ring. No, he's changed his mind, makes a U-turn right into the cinder block wall again.
Well, I think he was trying to take out that fan that was heckling him.
Well, I mean, that's part of the deal. If you're going to come in and do that, that's a chance you take. But Steve Green rolls the champion back into the ring, getting his bearings. He's going to climb back in, and he's got a few more words for everybody at ringside.
Of course, a lot of people are really on him about this whole Scuba Steve thing.
And you got to wonder if Big Donnie isn't at least questioning about Steve's parentage in this whole situation.
And now back in the ring, Steve Green going back to work on the left leg of Ric Converse after all the punishment the champion absorbed on the outside. Steve Green taking it back to a technical base, going to work on that leg.
And you got to wonder, you got to believe at this point, since Converse isn't scrubbing at the eyes, he's got to have a little bit of vision back, but right now all he can be seeing is red. He is in a world of hurt.
Ric Converse just tried to stand and completely collapsed. Steve Green has completely incapacitated that leg, and Ric Converse was not able to put any weight on it at all.
And Steve Green drops right in again across the leg, the knee, draped across the ropes. It looks like he's going to go outside, what, a little more plunder, a little more celebration. Back over to the office area. He has got that electrical cable again.
The same cord he tried to choke Ric Converse out with earlier is coming back into play. Ric Converse gets his leg kicked out from underneath him again.
And I'll tell you what, Steve Green is really showing a lot of tenacity here, something we were unaccustomed to. I mean, this match has gone quite a bit longer than what we normally see Steve Green in a singles match doing. And right now, he's got the upper hand.
Hey, he's on the ropes. He's using the ropes for all his leverage. And he still doesn't have to break it. Charles can plead and beg all at once. It doesn't matter.
That's right. Steve Green taking full advantage. Slick Diddy, he is in a lot of pain right now. As you see the Mid-Atlantic title laying right there in the corner.
Ric Converse really out of it right now. Simply Steve Green completely has this one in control. The Dynasty could well be on their way to winning this best of 3 series here tonight at AC Fitness in Greensboro.
Converse has got to get up. He's got to get his bearings and get turned back around here now. We may be seeing some kind of rodeo trick here. Looks like he's going to go to tie him up. And what, he's got so many seconds to do this or what?
He's tying him up, and he's turning it into a sharpshooter. He has Ric Converse's legs tied into a sharpshooter, and you can see Ric Converse screaming in agony.
Simply, Steve Green has hog-tied the heavyweight champion, and he's got him screaming in pain in the middle of the ring. This is bizarre. I've never seen anything like this. Wait a minute. The Gate City Center is down the ringside.
I'm not too shocked that those goofs decide to rear their heads during this main event contest, but for some reason, unbeknownst to, maybe that's why I let go of the sharpshooter, because Jesse Ortega has just come out here to try and even the sides.
Yeah, Jesse Ortega, he's not a young man that cares. He's a young man that believes, and if you cross him up, he will take it straight to your chin.
And you think Trent Wylde wants any more of Jesse Ortega tonight? I don't think so.
That's right, Ortega's already proven the point with Wylde, and now here we still got this electrical cord involved around the champion's throat. Slick Diddy struggling right now. Steve Green trying to direct a little traffic on the outside of the ring. Jesse Ortega's actually helping this situation because Green is off Converse.
Yeah, Steve Green's all happy when Trent Wylde's at ringside, but Jesse Ortega gets there and he gets a little more worried, gets a little more concerned about it.
That's right, he evens up the odds now. Green goes back outside for the weapons. He's got the trash can, tosses it in the ring. Converse has the electric cable in his hand, and Green's going to re-enter the ring now. And what can he do now?
Catches Ric Converse, kick straight to the ribs. And now Steve Green with that trash can across the back of the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champ.
Yeah, and I tell you what, we don't normally see Slick Diddy take a beating like this from anybody, much less involving something that just reminds you of something from a pay-per-view from a few years ago. But what we're seeing right now is what you would call hardcore wrestling.
Yeah, it's certainly not the traditional Mid-Atlantic style that we're so proud of, but the intensity between Ric Converse and Steve Green left these two individuals with no other choice. And Steve Green catches a boot right to the midsection, and finally, Ric Converse, trash can in hand, destroys the skull of Steve Green.
That's right, we've got all sorts of cleaning tools, utensils lying around the ring. Steve Green seeing the little birdies flying around his head. He has no clue where he's at. Slick Diddy struggling to his feet. Now we see Silvia, the third member of the dynasty, out at ringside trying to cheer on Steve Green.
Steve Green and Ric Converse, both men down, but Ric Converse finally possibly got the shot in that may turn the tide and change the momentum of this contest.
Steve Green struggling to make his way back to the ropes, trying to get back to his feet to stay away from Converse till he can get control of this one again. Wait a minute, we've got Xsiris joining out here at ringside now. Evening this up, we've got all 6 men, both of the 3-man teams from this series out at ringside now.
I can't say I'm necessarily surprised considering this match was going to be no disqualification, street fight, balls count anywhere. You almost knew the dynasty had to get involved. And of course, Jesse Ortega and Xsiris just trying to even up the side.
That's right, Converse takes advantage, big slam. Oh my goodness, Steve Green square on the back in the middle of the ring. Converse has the electrical cable.
How many times has Ric Converse been tied and chose? Was a time for a little bit of payback on simply Steve Green.
Steve Green's world has got to be getting black. It's a little bit of tunnel vision right now as the oxygen's choked out of his lungs. He cannot breathe. Slick Diddy drives a boot to the midsection, driving the rest of the oxygen out of his lungs.
Now Ric Converse with the trash can lid. Ric Converse has not had enough of Steve Green yet. And he's about to blister him, the man that was formerly known as the American Steel Ninja. Look at this! Bulldog into the trash can lid.
Face first, this could very well be it. Converse rolls over, floats over. Referee down 2 count. Steve Green able to kick out on before the 3.
Boy, both individuals have absorbed a tremendous amount of punishment here tonight in Greensboro.
That's right. I tell you, the fans here at AC Fitness on their feet for this one. Here we go. Slick Diddy across the top rope, drapes Steve Green across it and slingshots him back into the ring. Slick Diddy has decided to join the weapons generation here.
And on his landing, he finds a steel,
some sort of dustpan or something. Something out of the maintenance room, I'm sure. And he went right across the back of Green. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think you got an imprint of the UPC code across the back and the head of Steve Green.
Steve Green trying to make sure he's not bleeding from the back of the head on that shot. Diddy is in on top of him. Again, he's got to take the situation in hand. Tosses Green back out onto the concrete and follows him out the garbage can lid.
And once again, this war between Converse and Steve Green has spilled to the outside, right in front of the ringsiders, many of which have scattered for their lives.
Yeah, which is good thinking on the part of the ringsiders. They know that this can break down. There's a lot of bad blood between these 2 men. Now this one's going up into the bleachers.
Converse hammering Steve Green right in front of the CWF faithful that have traveled to Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's right. Here we go. They're still ascending the steps. And right down, Slick Diddy's able to get Green down. He's stomping away at the faces. You see the fans scurrying away from this battle.
Converse, after all those minutes of taking the abuse, taking the punishment from Steve Green, just dishing it right back as bad as he took it earlier.
That's right, and this is Falls Count Anywhere. Slick Diddy can actually end this match by pinning Steve Green here on the bleachers at Greensboro's AC Fitness.
He can pin him on top of a fan for all that matters.
And now I was just about paid to see. Good thing here. But you see Steve Green coming back, a shot straight to the face of Slick Diddy. And here he comes sailing off of the bleachers.
Double axe handle by Steve Green as Ric Converse once again is dropped to the floor of AC Fitness.
Steve Green needs to take advantage. This match has gone a little bit long, and I believe even I thought would have gone. Steve Green in a world of hurt. Slick Diddy backing up, but here he comes, returning to the attack, taking the fight back to the New Dynasty.
Usually when you have these kind of intense fights, you usually don't go past the 10-minute or so limit, but because of the incredible, well-conditioned athletes that these two men are, they are well equipped to go past the 30-minute mark at any given time.
And that's right. It looks like we're back over the concession stand. Some more cookie plates, pie plates, whatever this is, being brought into play here. Slick Diddy taking advantage, using all sorts of shots with a little bit of something for Steve Green on every shot. You see Big Orlo going to hand him another one, and Converse is going to the top of concession stand.
And former retired professional wrestler Orlo Helmer, the owner and manager of AC Fitness, and an old friend of Ric Converse, lending a helping hand.
That's right. I don't think Converse should have to be paranoid about Orlo on the outside. We know he's been well documented his career in the ring, and now we see it look like they're going to head back into the ring here. Converse has yet another pie pan and just drapes it across the back of the ring.
I think we completely emptied the concession stand of any utensil they may have.
That's right. We're going back into the ring. Converse able to sling Green back to the ring, and now we've got the referee Charles Richardson back into the ring. Man, could this actually end in the ring? I don't expect it to.
Ric Converse was calling for the Richter scale. He pointed at the trash can. I think Converse is going to Richter scale Steve Green on top of the trash can.
Oh my goodness, he's got him up. He's got the Richter scale locked. He's setting him up for the drop. Wait a minute.
Oh, Joey Silvia just saved the life of Steve Green.
And Joey Silvia, Trent Wylde now in the ring.
Oh, we've got a six-man brawl going on now. It's Xsiris, Joey Silvia, Jesse Ortega, Trent Wylde. Silvia goes flying to the outside.
Xsiris follows him out. Trent Wylde going toe-to-toe with Ortega on the outside. Converse and Steve Green still going at it on the inside of the ring.
It's completely breaking down, but luckily the two men in the match are actually the two in the ring once again.
Well, it's no disqualification, falls count anywhere. You got to keep your eyes open at all times. Referee Charles Richardson. Converse has turned this one around. He's throwing in the chops and the forearms on Steve Green. Green on rubber leg street at this point.
Oh, Silvia back in the ring though. Converse hammering around on Steve Green. Reversal. Xsiris, kendo stick. He accidentally nailed Ric Converse. Steve Green drops Converse. Green with the hook. The kendo stick down. Steve Green pins the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, courtesy of what I heard was an accidental kendo shot, courtesy of Xsiris.
Holy cow, Xsiris, a monumental part into this match, but what happens? They turned it around. Converse took the shot of the kendo stick, resulting in the Dynasty winning. Now, who do they choose to fight for the title?
I think Xsiris was seriously trying to hit Joey Silvia with the kendo stick. I don't think he was aiming for Ric Converse at all. The New Dynasty celebrating at ringside because right now they have the fate of Ric Converse and the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title in the palm of their hand.
I'm not even sure Steve Green knows he won this match. I mean, that's how dazed he is after all this battle. You see the Dynasty still celebrating, and I'm sure they're going to be calling for a microphone here so they can clue us all in. I mean, you know everyone's just sitting on the edge of their seats at home waiting to hear what these three jokers have to offer.
Steve Green is celebrating like he just won the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title. This was a non-title match, but next week at the Carolina Sports Arena in Burlington, it won't be a non-title match. And I believe we're about to find out exactly who they're choosing from their team. Hey.
We told everybody, we're better than Ric Converse. We proved it here tonight. Joey, you were so great in your match. Jesse beat me on technicality. And Steve, you just showed everybody that you were nobody's shadow, especially Ric Converse. That means next week, we get to pick who wrestles you for that Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title. And it's going to be none other than Xsiris.
Xsiris?
What in the world? You mean to tell me the Dynasty is saying Xsiris is their representative against Converse next week at the Carolina Sports Arena?
Xsiris is shocked and stunned. The Dynasty, they didn't appoint Trent Wylde, they didn't appoint Joey Silvia, they did not even appoint the man that just pinned Ric Converse. They appointed the man that they claim is the 4th Dynasty member, Xsiris.
Hey, everybody, give it up for the newest member of the Dynasty, Xsiris.
They're cheering Xsiris on already for next week. Ortega having to get between Converse and Xsiris. We're just 7 days removed from what many may be considering a dream match. But it could be the worst nightmare ever for Ric Converse one-on-one with Xsiris for the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title.
That's right, you saw it here tonight. Team Dynasty able to get a 2-on-3 victory against Team Converse. Team Converse in shambles right now. And this is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, the Carolina Sports Arena. You're going to see Xsiris against Slick Diddy Ric Converse. CWF Mid-Atlantic, we do believe, and we're bringing the eyes of the world back to the Mid-Atlantic area.
Get back in there and shake my hand, dude.
Did you hear this?